Yes guys, you read that title right. In today's video we check out a real vintage 1964 ES-335. Arguably one of the most iconic ES models ever made, the likes of Eric Clapton, George Harrison and B.B. King have graced the stage with this beauty. So without further ado, let's check out a piece of guitar history. Hey guys, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shop machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley and today I'm in guitar heaven. We have access to a real vintage 1964 ES-335 in cherry. This guitar is beautiful and I'm still pinching myself from playing this today. It's an incredible axe. This is kind of the George Harrison, Eric Clapton spec ES-335, you know, the one that was played in Cream and is obviously very famous. So without further ado, let's have a close look at this guitar and break down the specs. The 1964 Gibson ES-335 is one of the most coveted vintage guitars among collectors and musicians alike. This model was Gibson's first fully fledged semi-hollow design. And by 1964 it became a staple in the world of jazz, blues and rock. This particular year is especially notable because it falls within the period where Gibson was transitioning in both design and production techniques, marking the 1964 ES-335 a unique and historically significant instrument. So first, let's talk about the body construction. The ES-335, standing for Electric Spanish Model, is a semi-hollow guitar. Body is made out of laminated maple and we have a solid maple kind of stripe going through the middle of the guitar, meaning that we have a hollowed out guitar which creates different tone but also makes it more lightweight. Being the construction of an electric Spanish guitar, that was the whole point of these instruments. This particular maple has really nice figuring to it and it has that aniline die, so it's a very rich and kind of beautiful look to the guitar. Going to the neck, we have a classic mahogany neck. This one has quite a thin profile as we're in the 60s. Then we have a rosewood fingerboard with some really nice mother of pearl block inlays. The mother of pearl on this looks very different to the mother of pearl that they use now. I actually noticed this as soon as I pulled it out of the case. It has a little bit more of a darker, rich hue, and it looks a little bit more expensive than you'd find in today's market. Mother of pearl now tends to be really white, really like glistening, whereas this has a little bit more of a reserved look, but I think it actually suits the guitar more and I prefer the look of the mother of pearl on this vintage model. Of course we have white binding which is patinaed over, patina meaning it's gone slightly more yellowed due to age. And then of course in this guitar we have the pattern applied for PAF humbuckers. These pickups find the rock and roll sound, the most iconic pickup ever made. I can't believe I was able to play a PAF today, they sound incredible, but we'll wait till the tonal demo to listen to that. We then of course have the 3-ply pick guard, it's black, white, black, and it's the shorter guard obviously as this is a 64. And then we have 2 volumes and 2 tones. This guitar has had a bridge replacement. As you can see, it doesn't have the nylon saddles, it's just a metal saddle, so it's more of a true ABR1 bridge you see in the 50s rather than a 60s one which would have nylon saddles, and we also have the stock tailpiece. Of course, just like all Gibsons at the time, we have the Gibson Deluxe tuners on the back of the headstock alongside the Gibson logo and the crown inlay. So now let's talk about the pricing of this vintage 335. So in excellent condition, no kind of replacements or repairs, you can fetch anywhere between $25,000 to $40,000. This is in near mint condition, meaning that it's barely been played. This one, however, is in kind of good to very good condition. It's obviously had a replacement bridge, so this would be priced anywhere between, 25 grand around that mark. But let's just say that they're very expensive guitars, but they play amazingly. I noticed that this guitar performed really nicely, it played very nicely, and it's definitely been looked after. Andy seems to really take care of his guitars, taking them to Alluvia and getting them set up. The frets felt amazing, the action's nice and low. It basically plays like a modern guitar. It has no crackles on the pots. It's been taken care of very nicely. Also, I just love the wear on this guitar. It's again very subtle and not too notable. A lot of the kind of heavy-aged Murphy Labs are a little bit over the top in comparison to a lot of vintage guitars' actual wear. This definitely has just been played a little bit and has that kind of light-aged look. As a whole package, this really is one of my dream guitars. I'm a massive fan of ES guitars and I love the 59, 58 spec, but it's always great to see a 64 with the thinner neck and the block inlays. But that's all the specs of this guitar, so without further ado, let's plug this bad boy in and see how this vintage guitar sounds. So now it's time for the tone demonstration of this 1964 Gibson 335 in the iconic cherry. This is a very similar guitar to kind of what Eric Clapton would play. We're plugging it into our mystery amp. You'll see on these vintage videos that we're using a very special amp for these videos, but we can't quite show the brand just yet, but believe me, they sound amazing, and in the room it's very loud, it's awesome. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm on the neck pickup, I'm around, we'll start full volume, full tone, see what the clean sound sounds like. Very nice neck pickup tone. The sign of a good 335 is that it has a nice brightness about it while still retaining the bass end. Basically meaning it doesn't sound like it has a blanket over it. This has a really cool tone. Brightness, where on the bridge pickup it has that more kind of brittle tone. And when you turn on the venue round, which we have on the floor, you're in tonal heaven. I'm so happy with that tone, just sounds great. If I roll the tone down, you can get that like woman tone obviously, but this one has a really nice dialed in tone because the PAF pickups are pretty bright, so you don't get that flubby sound. It's quite a nice kind of mid-range focus. I find that still cuts through on a band if you were to play with. Amazing, like it's that for me. It's the I love that.
I love that. Yeah.
It's great.
Woody.
So now back to some clean tones. I'm in the second position or the middle positions, the neck and the bridge. Also added in a DD3 just for some fun. It's a slightly different body, isn't it? And
yeah, you don't get the Mickey Mouse ears.
And you get like, yeah.
Not
as Mickey Moused as the reissues though.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not as much of a caricature as they do.
So I don't really. I've never played a lot of 335. So how do you think it compares? I think it's quite bright on the bridge pickup.
The thing is, that's the thing. That's the sign of a good 335 for me. Is something that has the brightness, but it's not dull. So like you get a lot of them that like sound like jazz boxes. Like they're really like flubby. It's not a nice bass, but this has that nice dialed in. That piano type. It just works, and then you have the brittleness there. And this is why I think they always call them the burst killers, don't they? Because it can do everything a Les Paul can do. It's just people see it and be like, classic, don't do anything shreddy on it. But you can shred on a 335 so much. They sound incredible. So for me, I started on a Epiphone Dot. I didn't then play like an ES style guitar for years, and I came back to it and I was like, oh, this just feels like home, because like where you sit and stuff, and I find them to be the most versatile out of all Gibsons. So as you can see, this guitar really can do anything. On the floor at the moment, I've got a Hall of Fame, a DD3, got a Venuram ODS1, and an Overdrive. I have the Nobles one. It's a very simple pedal board, but it sounds incredible in the room. So I'm going to play one more thing before I finish off this video. Let's hear it. And just to prove that you can shred on a 335, I'm going to go a little bit crazy now, but let's see what it sounds like. Let's go to my personal review and thoughts on this 335. So guys, we're at the end of another video. Before I give my personal review and rating of this guitar, make sure to go down in the comment section below and let me know what you think of this real 1964 ES-335. Also, whilst you're down there, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new, hit subscribe. It's all down to you guys why we're able to demo these awesome guitars and do trips to Nashville. Your support means the world, so please consider subscribing if you're new. We have so many awesome videos planned for the future, so don't miss out, hit the subscribe button. So, of course guys, this is a real vintage 1964, one of my dream guitars. Is obviously going to get a 10 out of 10 for today. The playability is sublime, the tone of these PAF pickups is to die for, and I really liked how it was sounding through the mystery amp. Most importantly guys, let me know in the comment section below though what you thought of the mystery amp. Did you like the tone or did you not? Let me know down below. But yeah, this guitar just played amazingly. If I could own this guitar, honestly I'd sell my kidney for it. It's an incredible guitar, a real nice time capsule of the 60s. And what I really like is, yes, it's a vintage guitar, but it actually played amazingly. It's been set up beautifully, really well maintained. It's an awesome piece of Gibson history. So I don't need to say any more. 10 out of 10 for today's video, but thank you so much for checking out this video on the real vintage 1964 ES guitar. My name is Ben Keightley, and that leaves me with one last thing to say. Keep rocking guys, I'll see you soon.